There we go. I needed to force start the game. Really interesting to see how these guys will fare. Not professional bar players at all, but still having the balls and the guts to stand up against another nation. Commendable and respectful. So, Komohorov as the first map. Players loading in and choosing their starting locations. Let's see how they will fare and what mistakes will be made. And what glorious commander movements we will see this evening. The audio game is coming through. My audio is coming through. Alright, looking good, looking good. We have Colonel taking the eco position in the back on the Chinese side. And we're still waiting for the last check to load in. The Chinese discussing their tactics in ally chat. Very nice artwork going on here by Archie and Cornell. Heavily discussing what is the best they can do. Thank you, Adamo. So yeah, quite a bit of a mistake there. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Canon31, for the follow. I can't really interact with you guys that much because of the delay, but I'll try to keep my eyes on the chat and respond to you guys whenever I have the time. Alright, everybody's loading in, and the red player on the Czech side is taking the eco position. The best player on the Chinese side is taking the front, and he wants to obviously move to the center as he is drawing on the map here. Let me remove the artwork. And then in 50 seconds we will have the first game, and a few seconds later probably the first shots being fired. Apparently something does not exist for Cortex. Goddess is screaming. And there we go. Let's see the composition. Archimelion choosing an Armada commander to lead the front. Pixelator as well on Armada side. The back side is Cortex. And Goris is Armada. So a primary Armada army on the Chinese side. The Czechs have chosen Armada, Cortex, and Cortex. So a bit more Cortex players on the Czechs, and primarily Armada playing on the Chinese side. This is actually awesome, Volshak. They are both very low OS. I mentioned in the intro a little bit, it's really cool, and encouraged people to not think like my OS is so bad I can't compete in a tournament. There is a place for you. The Nation Wars, you can see, is all about having fun and all about defending the honor of your nation, and less about the competitive side. So there are a lot of nations still open to take charge in and to get a team together and to start practicing for next season. I would advise you all to just do it. Just do it. Just do it. You can do it. Colonel going for a aerial lap in the beginning. Sina PL sending out his sticks over the mountain onto Archie's base. A million on China winning? China number one? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Archie not putting an LLT in his base might have been a mistake here, but he does have the first pawn out to get the disrupting tick, which actually did almost no damage at all. Pixelator moving his con forward and getting those mixes. Is also moving the first units. He looks like he's choosing a a vehicle lab, and is bringing out Stouts. One very good T1 tank in my opinion. It's very tanky, like a tank should, I guess. Moving forward with his blitz. Yes, you can see that not all the Chinese flags are present in here. That is true. But yeah, maybe like Volchuk suggested, they are playing on a VPN. They can also not live in China, but were born in China and living somewhere else at the moment. But we can be sure that these guys all have well, they are all Chinese. I was commenting on a certain eye feature of them, but let's not do that. Bomber here having a free reign, no responses from Cornell. He could send his 2 fighters, but no need. The Nettle took care of them. Things are heating up on the middle, we see here, both armies crossing the mountains and going for the center. Sima PL wins the race though, and has his commander there for the first there. Archimelion standing a little bit idly in his base, might be good if he starts using that commander. Sima PL looking at the Rex, firstly going for the mix and probably gonna reclaim and try to pork up the middle and to capture it. Very important on this map to get the middle going. Also the north side, Pixelator pushing back Daveman. Daveman denying the LLT. Oh, and a nice D-gun from Daveman, wrecking Pixelator's army. He is moving back because he has no units, but he has the first pounders coming out. On the south side, Yurik is looking down at Goris. He has a lot of T1 units out already, while Goris is still on bots. He might want to start making something else beside pawns, but they will not, because they will not stand up against this show of force. Pixelator porking up quickly. Pounders going in for a reconnaissance mission. They don't want to get D-gun though. Taking up a defensive position around the LLT. Archimelion has crossed the mountain as is now using maces to contest the center position from Sima PL. He's having a bit of an E issue, which could be easily solved by building a little bit more BP to his E production, but I guess he will have to do that soon. Otherwise, these things will not fire, or hardly fire. Maybe Archie has the experience to realize that, and he's sniffing a little bit around, seeing what he can do. Still waiting for a few more maces. And building up an LLT right on the corner of the 2 LLTs on the Czech side, excuse me. The red player urging to defend from leaks, as we've seen in previous games on this map. Leaks disrupting the eco on the backside are really effective. The Czech forced to move back to deal with this leak, or this will do a bit of damage. He will lose his constructor units. There are a few shurikens going in though. It's picking up. Okay, that was quite a daring move there. The transport lost almost half of its HP with the commander in it. For your information, if the transport is shot down, the commander dies instantly. But the Pole pulls it off. The Czech pulls it off. We have some shurikens coming out also on the Chinese side now. A little bit of Air Force flying around the mountains. Yirik seems to not have capitalized on his army here. Has given time to Goris to get some maces up. He seems to even have lost his commander here on the south side. Oh, that's too bad, we missed that. Pixelator using his units to do a bit of a damage on Daveman. But Daveman has some artillery and he has to keep moving to avoid these shots. He also might wanna use his construction power in the front. Yirik now being a little bit more aggressive with his units. Gore is pushing the center position together with his team leader Archimelian. They seem to be able to push the Czech back. Ooh. We do have some shurikens trying to get into the mix, but an alert reaction from Colonel and he gets them down. Sima PL hanging on for dear life, but it looks like he will be forced to retreat. Nice moves there from the Czech though, realizing he mistakes, he has to retreat, but still gets some energy, some metal reclaim done. He has to be careful not losing his commander now. Interesting battle here going on. Sina PL now getting 2v1s and getting no support from his teammates at the moment. There are some bombers coming in though. Nope, they are landing. Also, Pixelator pushing back on Daveman on the north side, gaining territory for the Chinese. They already are pretty far on the map and seem to have conquered the middle parts. Also on the E and metal side, it's looking good for the Chinese. Also quite an impressive air force being built up by a colonel. Nice ecoing away here. Not that good of an spacing on the windmills, but he is spacing them out here in his backline. Immediately sharing an advanced constructor with his teammates. Will China be able to capitalize on their advance at the moment? They have more territory, they have more economy, but Sina PL is refusing to give up and keeps on trying to push Archimelian. He is losing quite metal expensive centurions in that And losing the second one as well. Gore is indicating he will help his team leader. And Sina PL trying to bomb and get most of the army away. He manages that, but the Chinese team leader does have a resbots at the ready. Ooh, and the Czech has as well. Immediately eating away the commander. Very nice place here from these lower OS guys. Both teams were sniffing out the metal. The Czech did lose his commander, but he gets all the metal back. Now can push in some units. Vivitek moving in a little bit with his air force as well. Ooh. Nice com snipe there. Also the Archimelian commander bites the dust in the middle. And the Czech also gets to eat that commander. This could be huge for the Czechs and maybe will give them an opportunity to get back into the game and equalize their production. It's actually already being in favor of the Reds right now, probably because he's eating the commander. Ooh, and a sneaky bomb run on the south side. Will Gorno react in time? It doesn't look like he's reacting. This might be bad for the Chinese. Losing one wind mark, losing all of their energy conversions. Yeah, quite a good trade. Purple did now react, but unfortunately he could have been way sooner on that. He also has a few bombers in the mix, but just sending them out on a patrol at the moment. He does have a few more stacked here on the side. I would advise to be careful putting bombers on a patrol mission. If there's any leaks going through, there's a high risk of this bomber actually friendly firing down an enemy, a friendly base. You don't know who you support, Volshak? Well, I vote for the underdog. At the moment it is Czechia who is in the ropes and is being pushed back. Quite big of an air push going on, but only fighters at the moment. Big push from Goris on the south side. He's taking care of the remainder of Yerik's base. Nice response from Purple. Taking care of the shurikens, but he is getting attacked now by a somewhat smaller group who will remember to drag a circle around the units to attack. It looks like Red is doing a bit of a better job on the macroing, but he is outnumbered heavily. Also on the north side it's not looking good for the Czechs. The Cyan player being Goris now moving in on the red player's base. And yeah, we have the forfeit coming in. Nice place from China. China takes home the first points. Gore is going away with the golden cow. Nice moves from him. Very coolly done. Yep, we can see him here. Actually, Colonel in the back, being the air player, has done the best job on the eco side. Gore is not far behind. Yep, nicely done. Nicely done. So, 1-0 for the Chinese. Alright. Loser choose. All right, no, I'm not gonna say loser. Check CZ, I think. It chooses next map. Maybe there will be a small break for both teams. It is always very exciting for them to play their first game. Their heart rate must be going through the roof at the moment. Maybe even screaming at each other about the win or loss. So yeah, that is gonna be interesting. And we have RLTU live with a rating. Thank you for the raid, RL2. Welcome to the stream, boys. I was just about to switch to the presentation of the players. So, on the China side, we see an average of 13.36 OS, and on Czechia, it is 10.15. So, yeah, like I iterated earlier, if you are thinking about joining the Nation Wars, but you're thinking, man, I'm way too bad to actually play in an official tournament, don't let that hold you back. Be proud of your nation, take up arms, and defend its honor, okay? Join our Discord, and let's get moving. It looks like the boys are choosing Omega Valley as the next map, so let me put that on for them. There we go. So, hopefully the Czechs will have practiced a little bit on this map and will be able to hold up the Chinese opposition. We have two players readied up. We're waiting for the last 5 crosses turning green, and then we can get the second bout underway, ladies and gentlemen. Waiting on Dave Man to ready up, and then we can go for it. If people are confused about these flags, they should be Chinese. The question mark means that Archimelion is he is a contributor, or as in some way contributed to the development of Bar, and that's why he gets this flag, I do believe. And probably these other guys are either using a VPN to be able to play out of China, or are living in another country but were born in China. So don't mind the flags, it is completely normal in this instance. Alright, everybody is ready. Can I do a CV start? No, you're not allowed to command, so I have to force it. That's unfortunate, but they are all ready, so let's force them into the battlefield. Omega Valley, ladies and gentlemen. Noob plays on Omega Valley. I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, give me a little bit of love if you would like. Also, I'm hearing that RLTU Live is trying to get affiliated. Thank you for the raid, by the way, but make sure to tune in on his next stream so we can get his average streamers count up and can get affiliated. I'm sure you want to see more of him, so help him out with that as well. Alright. Oh, shit. We've done this wrong. These spawns are not correct. I have to stop this. And I have to leave. Sorry. Wrong spawn locations. So I do have to join for a moment. There we go, and then I can do this. 20? Yeah, I think it's like this, and then I can go back into spectator mode. There we go. I'm getting called out to being a traitor. Yeah, we're missing a player. Maybe I caused him to crash. Sorry about that. So the polls are grouping again on team 2. Let's give the team leader a little boost on getting him to the other side. There we go. Maslakot, Pepichiki, Kakaoe, Chleblekiki. I have no idea what it means, but I'm with you. I think this is correct, guys. Just ready up. Help me out, boys. I think this is the correct spawn positions, right? Let me check in the Discord to be absolutely sure. V20 left, right for Omega Valley. Yeah, V20. I think that is V20 left and right. Just checking if these guys maybe want to reconsider. I think we can start. Yeah, that is from the Chinese side. Archimelian is also Chinese. Vivitek is Czech. Alright, he's also calling to give it a go. So let's do that. So, for the guys joining us, China has won the last game versus the Czechs. So the Czechs need to win this, or China takes home the victory, and they can say China #1 for once more. So we've seen in previous bouts the center is pretty determined. It is a pretty determined factor. These maxes have 6.5, while all the rest are very much lower. The spawn location have 2.2, but 1.2 on every other in the map, with a little bit of more maxes here on the top. So what we've seen, for example, in the French game, is Tenebos capping the middle, but actually being countered and being surrounded by the enemy team. I think it was Poland at that instance, who capped the top mountains and the bottom mountains and slowly moved in on his positions from all sides. So it's going to be very interesting to see which tactics will be used today. Do remember these guys are a little bit low on the OS side, but that makes for an even more interesting content to see what tactics they can come up with. Yeah, Axis, sorry about the restart. The spawns should not be top bottom. It is stated in the rules on the Discord that they has to be V20 left to right. I do believe this is V20. Maybe it's a little bit further that the line should be here, but I think it's correct. I think it's correct. Interesting drawings going on. Both teams discussing tactics. Red team not agreeing apparently with trying to get this side. urging his team maybe to go for the center. Jesus Christ, we need this. Oh. Alright, Goris has realized that the center is very rich metal wise and can be a deciding factor in this map. We have 20 seconds to go. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready to rumble? Come on, come on, come on. Let's get rid of the interesting artwork. Do I have a little bit of drink somewhere? No. I'll have to go thirsty. Okay, so we have a mirrored starting position. Let's see the commander's choices. There is a Cortex commander, Armada, and Armada. Again, primarily Armada team on the Chinese side. On the Czech side, there is seem to be a little bit more love for the Cortex. No, also 3 Armada player but 1 Cortex player. So pretty much, yeah. Oh, no. The only Cortex player is Sima. No, it's not Sima, it's Vitek Kvitek, who is trying to go air straight up from the beginning. Probably gonna make a constructor or a trans unit for his teammates to quickly cap the middle, or even go for both mountains very quickly. We'll see if he's gonna queue the transport first. Nope, he's going for fighters and a bomber. So he's gonna try to disrupt the early economy from the Chinese side. We have a vehicle lab coming up on another vehicle lab coming up on the Czech side. Bots and aerial, as stated before. Coronel has made an air lab as well, but is primarily making a construction aircraft, which is a mistake this early on because he does not have the energy nor the metal production to actually complete this. Bot lab, vehicle lab, and bot lab. So more bots, more Armada on the Chinese side, but more vehicle power on the Czech side. We have the first shots being fired, and the pawn takes it home. Ticks have to run for their life. The little spiders hopping away on the battlefield. Aren't they cute? One lowly tick coming in on Sima PL. For anybody wondering why they do this, it is to disrupt their economy, but also to get some valuable information on who is spawning where and which labs have they chosen. This tick can, for example, find out that VVTech is going air, which is useful. Can also know where the best player is located on the enemy team side, and now knows, and could have known sooner, that there was a bomber on the way. Bomber having free reign to show you guys. Can I do? Voila. So as you can see, these bombers don't have any vision, so they are flying blindly and looking for targets. It is very difficult to hit anything, as demonstrated here, missing pretty much all of their shots, getting a little bit of damage done. Now he just plans a blind bombing run, but gets shot down because he's unable to spot any nettles or anti-air. We have Daveman and Pixelator very close to each other there. The red team leader trying to defend his position, but he's getting oh, it's Pixelator who has taken the red spot. These things are really weird. I don't know what they changed, but Archimelion was the red player, the best player, the highest OS player on the other side, and should have been blue or red, but somehow the game decided to give Archimelion the yellow color. Our chameleon urging his teammate to take the center and to not worry that much about these mixes. Probably a good move and good advice from him. Pixelator moving in and reaches the center the first. Alright, so that means that China will have the first nibble on the big ass rich mexes here. Might be already a deciding move early on. Vivitek has also reached the middle, but he sees that there is a blitz from the red player guarding his entrance to the middle, so he's taking it a little bit slower. We now have a second Chinese commander on the center, helping out his middle. Nicely done from the Chinese, handing each of them sharing one of the mixes. Maybe one more and it would be even better divided. Blitzes going in. Yurik already realizing the danger and wants nothing to do with the Chinese on the middle. He needs to push them out. Daveman still trying to keep Joris busy here on the north side. Archimelian has moved his commander to the south and is now trying to fend off the advance from Sima. We have two commanders coming in. Will they give each other a little kiss or will they blow up? I think it will be the latter. You don't want to be too close with a third commander if they blow. Pixelator seems to be winning the bout, and he used his Alright, forget what I said. You should have been closer to those two commanders, because the blue player Vivitek is losing his commander in the middle. Pixelator on the Chinese side realizing this and rushing his commander forward. He wants that medal, of course he does. 1.37k on the floor to be eaten freely. Might have a bit of a deal with eating it. I think he can do it from a distance, so this LLT shouldn't pose a problem. That gives a big ass medal boost for the Chinese. Thank you for the follow, Hibi. Much appreciated. You're actually the 100th follower. Nice. Oh. Trying with a few shurikens, but it was a bad idea. It is a big army of maces that is facing Sinapel, but he also has quite a bit. So the LLTs blowing up here. Archimelian trying to fortify his position. Both commanders not building a mix, interestingly, on that spot. Just focusing on getting units out as fast as they can. The Chinese still have control over the center. Yurik and Daveman again contesting the position of the Chinese team leader in the middle. Well, the Chinese team leader who shouldn't be the team leader at the moment. I think it's a chameleon, but I guess the devs need to work on that a little bit. Oh. Januses are powerful, as we all know. Maces trying to push in now. Ooh, nice dodge of that D-gun. And Daveman has to run for it because these maces hurt if they can land a few shots. He's just moving backward, not moving his commander side to side to try to dodge these shots, and he is gonna bite it. Boom! Daveman down, Daveman down. That is two commanders down on the Czech side. The Chinese are marching on. Pixelator smelling blood for the next commander. He has him already down to 22%. Will he be able to get away in time? He does manage to save his commander. Barely, he's missing an arm and a leg, but he makes it to the past. To the back, it means. It's not looking good for the Czech Republic. China has kept the middle, is far ahead on the north side. Sima PL is still hanging on for dear life, using his commander to dodge those rockets though. Baiting them to come in, getting a few down, but he is at 26% HP. He's also struggling and limping now to the back. The Chinese are moving in with the rockets. Pixelator has moved to the backline now, and this looks very hopeless for the Czechs. A few shuriken trying to stop the Chinese advancement on the back line of the Czech Republic. China has moved on to tier 2. And the eco player doing what he should and making T2 construction units and probably gonna share that with their teammates. Brutes versus Stouts. You can see a bit of better macro from Goris. Erik just standing still with his units. And he does have to dodge a few bullets here, getting some help from shurikens, which he desperately needs because the Chinese are at his doorstep. Some tier 2 units flying overhead. Nighthawks taking care of the shurikens, but they landed in time. Interesting landing position though. Oh, he's taking off again. Commendable from the Czechs that they are not throwing in the towel. They want to keep fighting and they are not giving up. They refuse to bow down to the Chinese oppression here. You can see also a big medal advantage. Well, rather big. Well, it's gaining, it's going up. A little bit of quiet on the battlefield at the moment. We can almost hear the birds chirping into the trees, but oh, we have a shot somewhere. Where was it? One lonely mace getting a mix. An advanced geo being produced to increase the E difference on the Chinese side. There's a normal geo T1 plant on the other side, indicating the economical difference between both nations. Unfortunate that those shurikens were grouped up and they got shot down with one little bullet. Pixelator and Archimedean combining forces to push Sima PL off the map. He only has a few pawns standing at the ready and is faced by, yeah, an overwhelming Chinese force. Maces fighting away and easily breaking through. Moving in on Sima's base. Yes, sir, this is the second map. The first one was Komogorov. It's also 1-0 at the moment for the Chinese, and it looks like they're gonna take home the second win and the qualifying spot onto the next round. Pixelator and Archimedean reigning free on the backside. Yorick is still defending his position, but Goris has pulled back a little bit, hoping that the Maces can sneak onto the back. There doesn't seem to be a reaction from Yorick. He has to be fast now to defend his backline, but apparently he's ignoring the Mace advance of the Chinese.